is research question, introduction, thesis statement, the text references of the characters. The next one is characters, and the last one is conclusion. Okay, our research question is that having justice is having the law on your side. Okay, justice can be described as rightfulness and the quality of being just. And the laws can be seen as the set of legal rules where people have to obey, and it's a group and also like or agency acting officially to enforce the law. Generally, the victim of the crime persecutes the criminal, and sometimes the victim wins the case where the criminal is punished. But there are also cases where the victims do not get justice. And the next one is our thesis statement. I will pass it to Snape.
Thesis statement goes, something one can get justice by having the law on their side, and other things someone can still get justice even though the law is not on your side. So if the law is not on your side, you don't have to give up. That's what it means. You can still use other means to get justice. And the three text references that we are looking at are the movie, The Shawshank Redemption, directed by Frank Darabont, the book, To Kill a Mockingbird, written by Hapali, and the true life story of Martin Sanchez. Mine is to explain how Martin got justice by having the law on his side. As you all know, Martin was 17 years old, and on the first day that he had to attend high school, it happened that his parents were found murdered. One, his father was brutally injured and his mom was murdered in their household. And he was the suspect, was the first suspect on whom they placed all the evidence on. Well, as the case went on and everything happened, it happened that Martin ended up in prison. And the case that they based on to put him in prison was a testimonial that he didn't sign. So that's where the law managed to help him, and that's where the law acted on his side for him to get his justice. Well, it was an injustice. To show that it was an injustice and why he was in prison is that the evidence was insufficient, because at the crime scene there was a mud stamp, a foot stamp of mud, meaning someone intruded. There was an intruder who killed the people who happened to die, and still they put Martin in prison. So while in prison, Martin didn't give up on the law. Martin knew that the law is going to take me out of here, and that's what his parents told him. Trust the police and everything, the law and everything. That's why while in prison, Martin didn't give up and kept on fighting to get back his freedom, and he did this using the law. How did he do this? He kept sending letters to the lawyers. Yes, 50,000 letters. They calculated that's an average of 8 letters every 24 hours. I don't think someone can do that if you're not desperate to have the law on your side. It's out of that desperate and that being desperate that Martin was able to write all those letters to the law firms in order to get them on his side so that he can get his justice and get out of the prison. Then he got help from J. Salpeter. As we told you in our introduction, the law can be looked at as a set of rules or a person who officially enforces the law. So J. Salpeter is a lawyer who Martin hired at a cost of $5,000 to represent him. J. Salpeter is a lawyer, and they dug up a lot of evidence, various evidence, for him to be able to use to get Martin a retrial. Then other lawyers also offered to do pro bono work. Actually, $5,000 wasn't enough for J. Salpeter. So in the book that they said after a long while, it turned out to be pro bono work from J. Salpeter. Then other lawyers, as you've seen, some of his friends, Martin's friends, like from high school, because he was spending 17 years in jail, and 17 years his friends were studying. So his friends managed to help him to do pro bono work. Pro bono work is work done by a lawyer without any pay. It's like I just take up the case just as a public good, for the public good. So the lawyers who came up to do pro bono work. This is how the law, people who enforce the law came on Martin's side to help him get out of that prison. Martin alone couldn't do it. It's with the law that Martin was able to do it to get out of the prison and get his justice. Then with all the evidence that they Salvita and the other lawyers who offered the pro work, with all the evidence, the appeal court reversed his conviction. That means they took back his sentence and he was able to get out of he was able to get out of the prison as a free man because he really deserved his justice. Then, and Martin himself tells you, it couldn't have been possible without the help of these people. This is just a clear indication that it's the law that actually helped Martin to get out of the prison. Then, to conclude my point, it's evident that with support of various lawyers, Martin was able to get his freedom back. Yes, Martin got his freedom and he used the law. Therefore, finally the law was on his side and he got out of prison using the law. Thank you. I'll pass on to Martin.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay, in the scale of Mockingbird, currently looks as monster in the Mekong County. He is falsely accused of committing many small crimes in the Mekong County. Moreover, Bradley killed both evil in order to save ethical children who are jailed and scalped when Bob attacks them. And this act is not as a murder which is punishable. Bradley is supposed to be sent to the jail, and however, the law acts through figures of authority. Hector being sheriff of Mekong County can be seen as the law bringing justice to those who deserve it. Sheriff Hector, he covers up the murder as an accident by saying Bob Ewell fell on his side to avoid Mekong County's attention on Bob. Because Wu is one of the mockingbirds, as Atticus says that it's a sin to kill a mockingbird. At the end, Sheriff Hector siding with Wu is an example of getting justice with the law on your side. I will pass it to Steven.
Hey everyone, now I'm going to take over for the movie Shawshank Redemption. In the movie Shawshank Redemption, the law and justice is not on Andy's side. The law put Andy in a jail for a crime he had not committed. When in jail, Andy found out that Tommy Williams knows the truth of the actual murder case. So this helps Andy to get a chance for a trial. So Andy tries to use the law to get himself out of the Shawshank prison. In this case, Warden Norton and the Captain Henry are the figures of the law. The law is supposed to be enforced by them. Therefore, in this case, they act as the law and Andy running to them to get the justice. However, Warden Norton tends to destroy all the chances for Andy to get him a trial, like to kill Tommy Williams, the only witness. So Andy failed to get his trial and justice. This is the time that the law was letting Andy down. Andy realized that Warden Norton will never going to let me walk out of the Shawshank prison. So he took matters in his own hands, and he get himself out of the Shawshank prison not in the easy way. Like how Rick and Bob walk out of the Shawshank prison, Andy believed that there's a chance he will never get. So he breaks through the wall to attain the freedom he deserves. Therefore, without the justice